Welcome to the Rise podcast launch party. This is so special, and we are going to broadcast this experience on the podcast. So it's very meta. Like we're actually going to make this an episode of the podcast. So yeah, Sarah said we need a crown, right? So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited that this day is finally here. And I'm going to share a little bit about the origin of this particular project, this podcast. And we're going to have some fun together, and we're going to do some actual Rise activities. And I'm just so honored that you all are taking your time to be with us in a live broadcast party of this experience, because just getting kind of comfy, my podcast pod share, because this is a really special month. It's International Women's Month. And whether you identify as a woman, or you support women in your life, or you are a stand for underrepresented voices coming forward and being in their power, this is a reason we chose and wanted to launch the show at this time. It was also because things just took so dang long. Anyone had a project and you're like, we're going to launch that in this month, and it's X months later, whether it was a home build, an architectural build, something like that you were doing, your book. Exactly, Allison. So here's what's so fun. Many of you I have the privilege of knowing in Thought Leader Academy. We're friends, or we've done different things, but we have not ever come together in this particular way, in this particular format. And we wanted to do something around the launch of this show because there's a different energy that gets created in a podcast. So how many of you like podcasts? Like, just put P for podcast in the chat if you are a podcast listener in general. It's something that yeah. And I'd love to hear your favorite one, so we can shout out our favorite podcast hosts that have gone before us. I listen to podcasts, if not every day, I listen to, at least a few a week. So I'd love to have Mel Robbins, Rachel Maddow. Yes, you've got Nerve, Anderson Cooper, lots of Mel Robbins fans, Smarty, Smartless, amazing. Look at all these great ones. Jay Shetty. I love it. I love it. Simon Sinek's podcast, absolutely. Gabby Bernstein's. Why do you like them? Like, let's just talk about, we'll just be a little bit meta here. And like, why is podcast a format that's enjoyable for you? I would love to know. Vulnerability, lifelong learning, like listening to a friend. Yeah, growth day, Mary. That's a great one. Yep. Yeah, Christina, I listen on walks, or if I'm doing like household things, like if I'm cleaning or doing something, I love putting on a podcast. I think my husband Bill's on here somewhere. He listens to podcasts like a fiend. Like he's a podcast master. I love it. Yeah, dishes, laundry, commute. And I think there's intimacy. Some of you shared that. You feel like you're with somebody, you're talking with them. This particular show is going to be broadcasted weekly as an audio version on Apple and Spotify and all those places, and also on YouTube in the video format. Right. So we are really excited to be able to offer both, because I know some people like to watch and see, and some people like to listen. And I typically like listening on podcasts, versus watching the video versions. But if it's a guest, I really want to kind of check them out. Okay. So we've established we're a group that loves and values podcasts. We know some reasons why. And so I want to share a little bit about why this podcast, because there's lots of podcasts out there. So why are we doing this one? And one of the things that really struck me at the end of last year was the way that it can be very confusing sometimes when we look up to authors and entrepreneurs, visionaries, philanthropists, and we can look up to people, and we sort of understandably and appropriately want to model ourselves after what they're doing. But what would happen a lot of the time is that, and I've kind of, articulated this in some of the emails, inviting you all to this today. what would happen a lot of the time is we would do what I call, and Alex Hormozy also calls it this, we model our actions based on someone's summit versus on their rise. Now, what the hell does that mean? Well, to me, what that means is that we look at someone and say, well, Brene Brown doesn't do master classes on Zoom. Brene Brown isn't out building her email list today. And so, we kind of get to the summit of someone and we forget, or we don't realize that there was a rise taking that leader to that place. And then the game is different. The actions that someone takes from the summit are different than the actions they took to rise to the summit. Does this resonate with anyone? And so what I really am interested in breaking down on this show, and what you'll be getting every week from this show, is you'll be getting a look at the inner rise. And I know I don't need to share it with this group, that there's no outer rise without the inner rise, right? Like, there is no thing that has occurred in my life that didn't involve an inner transformation first. Is that true for anybody? Like, is there anybody else that knows that it took for you to stand on that stage or publish that book, or like Sarah V's wearing her tiara, which is giving me life right now, right? Like there is an inner rise at the level of identity, of belief, of feeling and thought and subconscious programming that predates what everyone sees in the world, right? And so what I'm really interested in doing in this show is looking at what does it take for the inner rise to that next level, that next step, that next milestone, and what are the actual strategies and action steps and habits that we will take, that someone we admire has taken, in the rise versus the summit. And so a lot of times I would hear these podcasts, and you've all heard my joke where someone's like, I was sleeping in my car and now I have an island. And like, it's just so extreme, right? It's like, I was on the street and now I have 100,000 people follow me on Instagram. And that's exciting and inspiring, but I can't relate to it very well. I don't have a way that's easy to like learn something specific maybe from that piece, because I don't know what the steps were, and maybe enough of the steps in between. And there's certainly wonderful shows and books, if you read people's books, where they might break down their rise a little bit more. But that's all we're going to do on this show. We are going to talk about and model and find the ways to create the inner rise that is needed for your next level. And we're going to talk to other experts, and I'm going to case study people that I think are phenomenal. And I'm going to break down, we know Tony Robbins was a janitor and now has like $18 billion, so, or probably more than that, right? So like those aren't the same steps from janitor to six figures as from janitor to, he's got his own island too. They all have islands, all the billionaires, they have an island, right? It's not on my vision board. I don't care. I'll visit an island, right? So it's what's in the middle, right? It's what were those milestones? And I'm going to be really excited today to hear from you. And as we go on, and you can always message me at the show and let me know, like, who is there, a person whose rise you want us to break down and plot, or is there a milestone? Like, I'd like to hear more about how someone gets a following on social media from having none. Because these people that come on already on the top podcast and have 8 billion people following them, like, it's tough to figure out what did they do earlier, right? And we all start somewhere, March. So I'm really excited about this. And this is what I care about more than anything in the world, is that you and me and all of us together, that we bring forth all the music in us, that we really don't leave anything off the field, that we play with everything that we have, and we truly come here and contribute and experience every incredible contribution and receive every drop of abundance and joy and success that you came here to do. And so that's what we're up to. And yeah, we were talking about magic, Anna, in Thought Leader Academy today. So if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, I'm Sarah Cannell. I am personally a best-selling author and the founder of Thought Leader Academy, which if you're in Thought Leader Academy and you're here at the party, put TLA in the chat, or if you're in any of our groups, so everyone can know that you're the people to model. You're all in your rise, right? And this is our incredible community of these wonderful leaders who are becoming best-selling authors and powerful speakers and hosting your own podcasts and changing the world with your movement. It's really, really exciting to be together today. So we're going to do some fun things. And we're also going to do an actual rise activation. I'm going to lead you through a guided experience to facilitate you rising both inside and outside into your next level. So I'm really excited. Like, before we kind of do some fun things about the show and let you know where to find the podcast. We're launching 3 episodes today. So if you're in the mood to just like, okay, I want to go on a walk and I want to listen to 3 in a row, we'll show you exactly where to find those and all the fun ways you can keep in touch with this particular program. But let's take a minute and close our eyes and take a breath. Give yourself a little shake and just let go of everything outside this moment. Everything that's happening later today, and let this be your time. You brought this opportunity forward on some level to support your rise in leadership, in vision, in abundance, and power and success. And so let's go ahead and claim it right now. What is the next rise that you are owning for yourself? What is the next rise? That could be a particular milestone that's financial or professional. It could be a way that you feel, a quality you embody. But let's do this together. This show is an experiential podcast. It's not just talking. So what's the next rise for you? You can think of it 30 days or a year or 10 years. I don't care. But what is your next rise? And let's just breathe into that for a minute. What is life calling you to become and create? And if you want to put that in the chat so that we can witness you and see it, please feel free. If you want to hold that sacred and private in your heart, honor yourself. Yes, Amy Fortney is rising to a new level of personal health and her own personal coaching program. Awesome. Paige is rising to create her integrative health team. Yes. Sarah Cassie's submitting that book to the publisher. Yes. Yes. Amazing. Karen's rising to the Be Peace book. Sarah B stepping into the energy of lifestyle designer. Yes. Charlotte, best-selling book in demand speaker, best-selling author, Allison. Margaret is rising to a finished book and an in-demand speaker. Yes. Absolutely. Tanya bringing as much light as possible to as many people as quickly as possible for as long as possible. Yes. Tanya is rising in the possible. Marietta is rising to finish her book launch, Joan, submitting your book proposal, Nancy. Yes. Melinda rising to a one-to-many coaching empire. Melinda, that's what we're rising. Yes. Jade, beta testing your group program more. Yes. Anna bringing the deeply rich magic to gentle women so they rise. Corinne, best-selling author, writing your series of books. Beautiful, beautiful. So I want you to feel that by coming here today, I'm affirming that by coming here to being part of this rise, that there is an acceleration, there is an activation of whatever you are claiming for yourself here. Heather's rising for energized health and a leadership role at a humane kindness company. Amanda's rising to supporting more than 40 women to transform their health this year. Yes. And you feel how the rises go together. We have people claiming health and people facilitating health, right? So powerful. Amy Day leading the decision revolution through her internationally best-selling book. Yes. Woo! It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So keep those coming, or keep, just make sure that you've claimed a rise for yourself. And then every week when we're together in the context of this show, even if it's not, on together live like this, that know that what you've claimed here today has been heard. It's been received in this vortex of the rise, and it will be acted upon. The universe, while we're hanging out here together, doing some dance and doing some fun and having some prizes, that this rise is being activated and worked on, and the universe is coming together to orchestrate the fulfillment of this rise. So who's willing to look for a sign? Someone mentioned The Alchemist earlier in the chat, which is, of course, probably many of our top favorite books. And so how many of you are willing to look actively, consciously, intentionally for a sign of your rise by the end of this week? Like by Friday, there is a tangible sign, manifestation, whatever you want to call it, to show you that this rise is happening. You willing to look for it? Yes. Carol says, moi. Yes. Exactement. Perfect. I love it, because the thing is about signs is they're always there. But if we're, as we all know, if our mind is focusing on problems, challenges, Sisyphus up the mountain on our rise, or rolling back down the mountain, and setbacks, it's not as easy to see them. So we weren't going to talk about The Alchemist today, but if you are a person who's read that book or listened to that book, the whole point is watching the signs and letting yourself be in a call and response with life. Go here. I consider a sign if I get an intuitive nudge to do something. To me, that's a huge sign. It's not something just has to come to me. It might be like, oh, email this person, or listen to this audiobook, or message your friend. And then suddenly there's a connection. Oh, I love it. Sarah's seen 7117 all day. Yeah. Angel numbers, all these good things. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. So we are going to do something that hopefully is going to be a little bit fun now. We're going to play a game, and oh my gosh, Margaret said it's 222 where she is right now. I love it. I love it. So we'll give some love to the fact that we have the whole universe, right, is out working on your rise because you came here today, because you're part of the community of this show. That is awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do before we do our rise activation is we're going to play a game that you could play if you launch a book, if you launch your own podcast, if you're doing any kind of a thing like that. We know that what we want to do is anytime we share something new with the world, we want to get the word out. We want to have it shared and out. So Jill is going to share with you a link to the podcast show. You can, again, find it on Apple and on Spotify. It secretly went live a little bit before right now, and it is live. And I'm going to share with you how we're going to play this game. And then what we'll do is anyone that wants to, no pressure, play if you want to. You'll have a chance to play the game. We're going to put on some music and just get our bodies moving and get into an activated state. And then I'm going to lead you through this actual activation exercise. So how it works is we're going to share the link to the podcast. And this is going to be as if you were getting a virtual ticket for each action. So if you go to the podcast page and you download an episode, you will have one ticket in this drawing, and I'm going to share what the prizes are. Okay. So if you go to the podcast page and you download an episode, there are 3 up right now, and you subscribe to the show, then you will have 2 virtual tickets, digital tickets for our prizes. Okay. If you download an episode, subscribe to the show, and share the show with a friend, you will have 3 options, tickets, digital tickets, to win the prizes. There are 5 of these. If you download an episode, it's like a little poem, right, with little kids. Download the episode, subscribe, share with a friend, and write a review. Obviously, the show's brand new. You haven't listened, so you have to base it on the energy that's created here, and you can do it afterwards when you get a chance. Then it jumps you up to 8 chances to win the prize, and you go to 10 chances to win the prize if you also make sure that you are signed up for the best-selling book boot camp next week. And I'm only doing that because we are going to do a daily activation every single day of the boot camp. You can work in this boot camp on a book. You can work on a talk. You can work on a video project, any content you're creating. You can come and train live every day next week. It's completely free. And everything with the podcast sharing and all the things to win the prizes are completely free. And it's going to make sure that we build on what we do today to facilitate your rise as a thought leader, as a content creator, as an author, whatever the things are that you're working on. So, yes, Tanya's going into a work meeting. Tanya, yeah, for the review and everything, we'll just say by 5:00 Eastern today. If you guys can swing that. And yeah, we just want everyone to register. Margaret, even if you're in Thought Leader Academy, it's all free, but just go ahead and register. So Jill, if you can share the link to the boot camp, you can knock one of your things off right there. Yeah, maybe QR code, but also an actual link would be great. And then we'll give you the link to do the podcast ones. Okay, so let's do boot camp first. And just make sure you're signed up. You can come live noon to 1 Eastern every day next week, or you can watch the replays. We'll send them out every day and they'll be up for a week. Okay. So, Barry, you said you just found 8 secret archived pods. Okay. So let's do the boot camp first. And then you're going to put boot camp in the chat when you have registered for the boot camp. Okay. So that'll let us know that you've got those 2 chances. Now, while you're doing that, you might say, well, what am I winning? Okay. So the grand prize, one of you is going to win the podcast setup. So you see, I have the Blue Yeti mic. I have a cool ring light. If you like the colored light spots behind me, you are going to have your setup. So you will have a light, you will have your awesome podcast mic so that your sound is amazing. You'll have some fun colors to play with, and you will have just, whether you're just on Zoom for meetings or you're interviewed on podcasts, or you're going to host or already host your own podcast, this is going to be really fun. And you're going to all have the chance to win. So make sure everybody, okay, good. So Jill, you're going to have saved the chat so we know everybody that is signed up for the boot camp. Okay, that's awesome. Now, you are also invited to think about this grand prize from the standpoint of what we call the future pull. A future pull is a powerful way to help your inner rise to step into your next level, those things that you claimed. So what's a future pull? It's where you think about, talk about, act, adorn yourself, take action as if you are already at the summit of your next rise. Now, why is that helpful? So if you're thinking about someday I might have a podcast, getting your podcast studio set up is going to make that happen so much faster because already all the energy is there. You're like, I'm freaking rocking it. I have great sound. Yeah, Gina, we're going to share that in just a minute. We'll share the link to the actual podcast. You can take the rest of the actions. All right. So I love it. You guys got the boot camp signed up. That's amazing. All right. That's awesome. And then Jill, if you will share the link to the actual podcast page for the show, you guys can go there and that's where it should be all set up. It was tested late last night where you can download an episode, subscribe to the show, and share an episode. And then you can come back in the chat and say which ones you did. You can also leave a review later. Okay, there's the link to the podcast. Okay, awesome. Let's put some music on. Jill, can you start our Dance the Night Away for a minute and just give everyone a couple minutes to take some of those actions. And we're just going to have a little dance break. And that way we will get the pool started for who is going to win the full podcast studio setup. Yes. I love it. Laura's like, subscribed, shared, boot camp, and loved it. Thank you, Laura. All right, so I love it, Amy Day. Awesome. All right, you guys, This is how we start a movement. I want all of you to do this for your own books and your own podcasts and your own initiatives. Bring your community together and get the movement started. Yes, and you can scan your phone to go to the podcast as well. All right. All right. So we're going to give a couple minutes to do that. And then, Jill, you can cue up our little video intro for after come back. Song break. Guys, let's move. Let's get some state change. But let's want to put in some snaps, some claps, some shimmies. Sarah finished all three. Awesome. Yes. Oh, Amy Day's husband, Cliff, is already listening to the podcast. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you so much. Jane's ready to boogie. Yeah, Heyman, yeah, it's either follow or subscribe. I don't know how they describe it. And then you can download and share. Awesome. Thank you, guys. This is awesome. We're going to get the word out. Yeah, it's on Spotify and Apple. All the other ones too. Thank you, Celeste. Woo! Yeah, I did a case study on Tony Robbins. He hasn't been a guest on the show, but we did the case study on Tony because that's the one that always slays me. Janitor to billionaire, you know. Woo! Yeah, Martha, I think we'll count follow as subscribe. So perfect. All right. Woo! Thank you. Who is going to do this with your own podcast, book, or program? Who is going to create something fun, a fun way for people to share? Celeste is doing it. Awesome. We're dancing. Yeah, Karen's going to do it. Yes, Charla. You can absolutely do it it doesn't have to be on your launch day. Get a group together, have a podcast party. I know I'm loving just being with you guys, so this is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yes. Awesome. And we're so grateful if you share it with other people in your life that need to get empowered in their rise. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you need Spotify, not Apple, you can use that link. Okay, amazing. So we'll come on back here. Oh, thanks, Jane. Shared it on bedside reading. Yes. Okay, Charles, you're working on this concept now. Do you guys want to see what Hannah Duncan, I know Hannah's on today. Hannah created the most fun intro to the YouTube version. So that's the video version. I want to show this to you because it might be something you want to do for your podcast. Okay. So let's see, Jill, if you're able to share it, we'll just give it a go. And hopefully we'll get the sound as well. It's really short. All right. All right, so that's our little sizzle that's going to go at the beginning. Thank you, Jill. And so each time it plays on YouTube, you'll have that as the intro. So you guys that have podcasts, you might want to do if you don't have one already. And can we give love to Hannah Duncan, like making that gorgeous video? We can show it again if you want. Hannah is just. And I feel like you're such a big part of the rise for me and so many of us here that get to work with you. We love you so much. Thank you for creating that. Thank you to Marsha Craig is here, who created the thumbnails and the graphics. Like, how fun was that at the end? So Marsha, Jill, Hannah, everyone of our team, Amy, Marietta, that's been part of this. And it's been such a treat. Yeah, I love it. Okay, Amanda, subscribed, followed, reviewed, and shared. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to hear who is excited about potentially winning the podcast setup. So just put podcast in the beginning so that, and you guys need to hear the story of the song in that. Yeah. So I'll tell you that in a minute. Okay. And I want to hear why, and then I'm going to shout out the amazing Steph Frizel and you'll know why in just a minute, but, why would this be good? What would be good about getting the cool mic and the lighting and just the vibe going in your space what would feel, yes, we'll play the video again because it's like really short. Yes, absolutely. What's good about it? That you can start talking with a purpose, Gina. Great. It would help you feel like you're talking with a purpose. It would be stepping into your vision, Sarah. Beautiful. Rise the quality of your joyful business podcast, plus upping your vibe, Laura. Yes. Yes. And you know, I don't just do the stuff right here, especially what we're going to do in the boot camp next week is not just about the three-dimensional, making a book, a podcast, a video, a talk that we're going to activate. So I'm actually going to do an activation over the light, the mic, the stuff that we send you so that it is activated with success and with power and with your just absolute energy of downloads and genius. Okay. So I'm really, really excited about that for you guys. Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. You'll feel some of the magic, Martha, coming in. I love that. Yes, opening a door for mentoring as a spiritual channel, Corinne. Lisa Michelle, this is such an important one, right? Like feeling more legitimate. So this is a big part of the rise. I'm so grateful, Lisa Michelle. Thank you for sharing this. A really big part of the rise is flipping the order we do things. So we think when I'm a big deal, then I'll have a cool podcast mic. You know, when I'm really well known, I'll get a YouTube channel. When I'm like, you know, all the way like established as a thought leader, I'll have like a lighting, you know, kind of thing. We're going to be working on this whole, you know, set. This is just like the fun one we created for today. There's so much I want to do. And so what happens, do you think, if we flip it and you get the light now? And you get the mic that says, my voice is important now. And you set up a space that says, I have something bigger to say and contribute now. And that I will go on YouTube, even if I don't think anyone's watching, right, Sarah V? We talked about this today, right? You actually activate the rise by doing these things now. We don't have to do everything, right? Like I don't go, oh, my next level self, you know, I knew the car I wanted for my next level for 2 years and I just got it in October, but it wasn't, the car doesn't make my identity, but it was a reflection and expression of how I feel and what I'm building. And so it was okay that I didn't have it yet, but I printed it out. I printed a picture. I watched videos of it. I told myself when I got in my old car that I'm actually pretended I was getting in the new car with the cool, you know, lights and sound and touchscreen and all that stuff. Okay. Yes, Marcia, it puts you in the vision. It also says to the universe, I'm rising. I'm taking this seriously. I'm taking this shit seriously. Okay. I think we can swear on podcasts, right? Well, we're going to find out. I guess there's going to be a beep button that I need to get. All right. Yes, Lisa, Michelle, you bought the car that matches your vision. And you know, we can do these things in the order. Now you are the one of you's going to win the podcast setup. So you don't have to buy anything. But the point is, it actually, yes, it tells us it puts us in the energy of that rise, but it absolutely sends energetic vibrations because everything's connected in the quantum field that says, oh, you know, Jane's ready for the big time. You know, Corinne's ready to go to the next level. She's got her mic. So it's not about the stuff. It's not about the stuff. It's about what we make the stuff mean. What signal does it send to ourselves and what does it pulsate out? And I have no doubt that any of you, so we're going to do this rise activation now. And then I'm going to invite you, so you can start thinking about it. I'm going to invite you to consider what would be a physical symbol of that next level that you could implement now. Again, one of you is going to win the podcast mic and the light and everything. But what might be that for you? And again, it isn't about just going and spending money we don't have. That's not what this is about at all. But it's about embodying and expressing the next level now before we see it on the outside. Before we see it on the outside. And I caught myself doing this multiple times this year. I caught myself doing things like, oh, well, when I'm at, whatever place, like that's the kind of marketing I'll do on YouTube. It's like, hey, well, why don't you do that now? Why don't you actually do it now? So this is, if you take one thing away from today, if you take one thing away from this experience, my deepest prayer and hope is that you just a little bit more live as your rised self between now and when you go to bed tonight, that you do one thing, or you wear one thing, or you eat one thing, or you embody one thing in just a little bit more than you did before, so that we can flip the balance. Because the fastest way for you to rise is to live the rise now, right? We all know this. Any of you that have trained with me, we've talked about this, we've practiced it, we do this over and over and over, but I want us to do it in a bigger way. We get to do it in a bigger way. Look at this. It's a Tuesday afternoon, and how many of us have come together to support each other, to be in the energy of a rise. And so I do want us to think of something kind of tangible, right? We can call this an anchor object, or an anchor behavior, or an anchor image. Even if it's the way you're going to sit. You want to do one for free? This is the one I used to do all the time. I'd say, how will I walk? How will I sit at this whatever next level that I'm called to? And so even taking the posture, let's all do that now, right? Let's all do that now. Like, how are you, like, let's say it's a year from now and it's the Rise 1-year anniversary podcast party. We're having our 1-year birthday party. It's 2025. Is that right? My God, how is it going to be 2025? All right, 2025, year from now, and you have met or exceeded, you have summited, you have fully summited what you wrote here today, what you claimed as your rise. Are you sitting any differently? Let's check it out. Let's explore it for a minute. Rosalind's going to the library this afternoon to pitch her book. She's been putting it off. I love it. Karen said she got a little taller. Yeah, sat up a little taller. Beautiful. That's awesome. Anybody else notice a change? Like, were you kind of crossed and you're uncrossed? Sarah's going to wear her crown all week. Yes. Yes. These symbols matter. The subconscious mind responds to two key things: repetition and imagery. They respond to symbol. Okay. So the repetition is like affirmations, or looking at your vision board, or repeating certain statements. The imagery is, again, what are you wearing? How are you sitting? The symbol? Yeah. Oh, Anna's got a little more sass. Gina's just more relaxed and knowing. Jane is breathing fuller. Lisa feels more confident. Lisa Michelle, amazing. Okay. So before we go into the activation, a couple of you were doing the action steps to get in the drawing for the prize. We're going to show the intro to the video podcast again, and I want you to listen to the words of the song this time, if you can hear it. Now, it's really quick because you just do quick intros, but can we shout out Steph Rizel? Okay. Steph wrote and composed this song specifically for the thought leaders in this community. Steph is a brilliant songwriter, thought leader, best-selling author. She's been in Thought Leader Academy. She's in our Oracle program, and wrote this song to help us rise. Literally wrote the song to help us rise. And so for every one of you that did any of the actions, whether you win the podcast setup or not, we will send you the link to the song. Steph's got it out all over. She's getting amazing, it's like Steph just signed a deal with Armani to use her music. I mean, she's a rock star. So let's love up on Steph. And then Jill, if you could play it one more time for people that missed it, and particularly listen to the vibe of this music. The music alone is going to help you rise. And then we're going to do the guided activation. All right. So we will play this. Thank you, Jill. Anything can happen if you just believe in magic. How great. And she incorporated all the TLAs. She incorporated many Thought Leader Academy affirmations and slogans. It is gorgeous. Steph, thank you, thank you, thank you. I walk around my house singing this all day. So every one of you that participated in this launch and went to the podcast and it did any of the actions, we'll get a link to listen to Steph's incredible song and to be able to use that song to help your rise and help activate your rise. So yeah, really, thank you so much, Steph. It's like I walk around listening to it. So you cannot be in a low vibration and hear that song, right? Like Steph activated our power and our greatness and our joy and our abundance. Yeah, it's really, really good. And the refrain is you can and you will, which is one of our favorite mantras. All right. So are we ready to rise? I know we are. Let's rub our hands together. Rub our hands together, activating the right and left hemisphere of the brain. Breathing in, breathing out. In and out. Gina, we're going to send all of you the full song. They're going to send you all the full song as a thank you for participating. Everyone that entered the contest to win is going to get a link to listen to the song. All right. So we're going to go down into a more meditative space. If you feel like even relaxing and wanting to put something over your eyes or recline or turn the lights down where you are, just do whatever helps you get into a deep, deep space. This technique that I'm going to share with you combines visualization, future pull, and hypnosis, and some other fun things that are just going to show up. Okay. And then we're just going to go for about 7 minutes. So as you begin to breathe, you're going to notice a beautiful golden light appear at the top of your head. And you're going to feel yourself opening your channel, whatever that looks like for you and feels like for you, to receive abundance and inspiration and passion and clarity and love and contribution and success. You're going to feel your channel opening, and you're going to feel this golden light start to pour down into every cell of your body. This is the light of your rise. This is the light of pure genius and wholeness and power and love and joy and success. And it's going to go through every organ and every muscle and fiber, every cell of your body. It's going to go through your conscious and subconscious and outer conscious mind and wash away anything unlike your next level, any old thoughts, old traumas, any fears. So interesting that we have like a fire truck and ambulance going by right now. And I know that that's on purpose. That's all the resource that have come to support you in this rise. And then you can feel the light from above you. And then you feel the light from the earth start to come up through your feet, through the soles of your feet, and rise up through, rising up like Kundalini energy through your spine, rising up through all your cells. And you're going to merge these lights in the center of your heart. And just feel this light radiating out in every direction. Breathing in and breathing out. And as every breath you take, your rise is going to be stronger and stronger and more activated. And I'm just going to repeat this statement 3 times. And I'm affirming now with the power of the entire universe and the earth itself, full of vitality and energy and unlimited source energy, that anything that has kept you internally or externally from rising in this or any lifetime is deleted, uncreated, destoried, and dissolved in all directions of time, space, dimension, and reality, ancestrally and genetically. Anything that has or could or is impeding your rise is decreated, destoried, dissolved, and uncreated in all directions of time, dimension, space, reality, ancestrally and genetically. One more time. Anything that has held you back, could hold you back internally or externally, is all now dissolved, uncreated, destoried in all directions of time, dimension, space, reality, ancestrally and genetically. You are not just rising for yourself, but because you rise, you open the way for everyone else to rise. And you become, just by your very presence and vibration, people just pass you on the street and suddenly whoosh, transformation, healing, whoosh, they rise. And keeping the breath into your belly during this experience as best you can, deep breaths. We're now going to imagine that as I count back from 10 to 1, that you're going to be deeply, deeply, deeply relaxed in a way that almost is unbelievable. 10, 9, being more relaxed on every level, letting go. 8, 7, 6, just deeper and deeper, just releasing anything you no longer need. 5, 4, 3, just letting it all go. 2 and 1. You are now 1,000 times more relaxed. So deeply and completely relaxed. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you see an incredible archway appear before you. And you just know that something so good is calling to you and waiting for you and beckoning you. And it's just so filled with light. You can feel love and you can feel peace and you can feel excitement and joy and abundance. And this gateway is open. This archway is just absolutely here and open for you. And so imagine and visualize yourself walking through. You can even be gliding through and floating through if you want. As you go through this archway, you just feel yourself. The light around you is matching all that light that just awoke within you. And you feel yourself drawn to this beautiful space in nature. It's the perfect place. Whatever you love, a mountain, a beach, a pasture. And wherever you find yourself, just notice almost like it's almost funny, like there's this, it's not some big mountain that you have to climb, but there's this little incline. It feels almost like you're stepping onto the Olympic podium, it's all this natural, beautiful light. And you just know that you get to go stand there. And as you take your place, feeling grounded and rooted, you just feel how absolutely natural it feels to just be in this place. Like it's exactly where you just know you were sort of born to be here. And all of a sudden around you, you see and feel all of these incredible, you feel the energy of all this incredible presence, people and ancestors that are rooting for you, and guides and angels, and whatever is real and true for you. See the space filling. This is your team that has been assembled for your rise. And you can feel the excitement and you can feel the joy and the gratitude. Like, yes, 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 we've been waiting for you to take your place here. And you feel yourself just almost like you're growing taller and taller, and this rise is just sort of happening underneath you, and you're lifting up and your team is lifting up with you. And you see then that this rise ripples out and how it's lifting up everyone that touches it. And you see how incredibly generous and selfless it is, and how how it is the most giving thing you can do is to make this rise. Because other people are counting on you to fulfill their missions. They need to see you rise. They need to know it's possible. They need to see it done to know that they can do it and ignite theirs. And so you have the opportunity now to let your team know if you're all in. You have the opportunity to tell your team, yes, I will do this. I will rise. And so just share that in your own way. If there's a gesture, like arms up, whatever feels good physically, do it. And now you get to ask your team what you need from them, what you want from them. They want to know how they can best support you right now to take the next steps in your rise. So let's go ahead and listen now to first tell and ask, this is what I would love. Here's how you can support me. It's weird to think we need to ask. We think, don't they know? Don't they feel? But just go along with it and ask officially for how you would like to be supported. Keep breathing. You're doing amazing. And now they're going to share, pick a spokesperson from all of those that are helping you in every dimension and realm. And they'll have a spokesperson of your team will come forward, and your team gets to tell you what they want for you. What is their guidance for your next step? So just open your heart and breathe and listen for the guidance they have for you. What's the most important next step on your rise? Don't worry if nothing comes to you immediately, it will. By asking the question, the answer will be revealed. The answer is in the room. And now ask your team, you're going to see the team sort of part, and a huge screen is going to appear, like that fills the sky. And what you're going to see now is a sneak preview of what is coming when you stay committed to your rise. We're going to watch now and listen now to the preview of what is coming for you as you stay committed every single day to your rise. Ready, set, go. And now let them show you the thing that you never even imagined would be part of what's coming next. The secret surprise that they're going to show you, the sneak preview of what else is coming for you as you rise that you didn't even imagine yet. Take a deep breath. No attachment to anything coming or not coming by asking these questions. Your rise is being activated. It will come. Answer is in the room. And now is your moment to ask anything else you want. If there's any other question you have for your support team, for your vision team, for everyone who is cheering for you, supporting you, arranging things, you can ask the cosmos itself anything else you want to know now that will support you in taking your next steps and going all the way. And then taking a big deep breath in and out, bringing a smile to your face and just hear a big cheer. Maybe your team just does the wave or everyone goes, whoop. And go ahead and do it. I'm the only goofy one that is unmuted. Just give yourself a sound. What is the sound that of when your team has come together and you've said yes to your rise and your rise is fulfilled and you're on the top of that mountaintop and that summit and you've seen all the good that comes for everyone because you did it. You showed them it was possible. Just make the gesture and the sound that matches that for you. Deep breath. And then let your arms drop and just allow these words to wash over you. Any that you like, you can put on your hard drive. Any that you don't, just ignore. You will only take in what is aligned for you. What I know for you is that you're here for a reason, that you came today to ignite your rise to a new level. You are supported, capable, worthy, powerful, magnificent. And that because you showed up here today, something incredible gets to happen that wouldn't happen otherwise. There's an acceleration of your rise, doors open where there were no doors, all kinds of synchronicities and magic is ignited, and that every day you see signs internally and externally of the rise. You are capable. You are worthy. It's happening. This and even more is here for you, for the highest good of all. And your success in your rise is assured. So breathing deeply, just letting all that go, relaxing your jaw. As I count to 10, with each number you hear, you'll become more awake, revitalized. When we get to 10, you will be activated, aligned, absolute vibrational match to your vision, as done, as done, as done, to magic, to miracles, to abundance, to contribution, to your rise, to success. And it gets to be fun. And you get to have joy. And you get to feel loved. So 1, 2, just feeling yourself, just breathing into it, feeling yourself activated more with every breath. 3, 4, 5. Deeper and deeper. You're waking up. 6, 7, 8. And as we get to 10, this is the 10x jump in your rise. 9, 10. Give yourself a breath. Come back fully into the moment. Bring a smile to your face. Give your shoulders a roll and just check in with yourself. How did that feel? How did that feel? Maybe it was weird. Maybe as Celeste said, wow, it was powerful. And some of you have never hung out here before. Be like, I don't know what this is. Okay, we were combining breath with hypnosis, which can work on the deep subconscious layers. And we were combining all of that with the guided neuroscientific future pacing visualizations. So you had varying different sensations, expanding and clear, powerful. So I went ahead and made an audio of just that activation, and I'm going to send it to you. And if I can figure out how to put it to music in a nice way, I'm going to give that to every single one of you for coming. And the only way we'll be able to know is if you put your name in the chat here and told us you took those actions. Any action, even if you just go to the podcast episode and download an episode, or podcast show and download an episode, we'll give you the activation, and we'll give you hopefully we'll have some alpha theta. I'll try to put it with alpha theta music because that will activate your genius state. Okay, it'll put you into the alpha theta brainwave state. So yeah, okay, good. Miracles are possible. And tears. I know sometimes we have tears for, let's just hear from 3 people. We're going to go till, a little over quarter after the hour. So who feels like something special happened for them in that activation? Let's just hear from 2 or 3 people who want to share. If you feel, this is going to be, featured on the podcast, which is really exciting. And no worries if you want to be private. And okay, Paige, what came up for you?
That it's about who I know and making more connections and sharing my brilliance.
I love it. So you had that affirmation, and it's about the relationships. That's part of your rise. All right, let's give Paige some love. Thank you, Paige. That's awesome. That's amazing. Anybody else have something powerful for them as they went through? Did you see something that surprised you, perhaps? Or did you, Sarah V, yeah, did you see something that surprised you?
Oh, it was just so clear when I walked through that archway, and I swear I have so many energies. My angels, my divine were just like there to welcome everything that I've been working towards. I think it's the crown that helps.
It's the crown. Well, right. That reminds you of your rise, right? It's worthiness. Absolutely, Sarah. Congratulations. Karen, what came up for you?
Well, a lot of things that I've been working on, but what really shocked me was I was speaking before the UN about peace. And that wasn't even in any of my consciousness until this.
Karen. Yes. And so, Karen, and any of you, if you want to create a visual, and sometimes when I do these activations, I don't get a lot in the moment, but then if I do it again, that's why I wanted to make it as a recording. I was going to do a completely different thing. Nothing that we just did was what I was going to do. And I was like, this feels really weird, but it's just what came to do. So I am trusting, Karen, that helped you activate, and it'll help us all rise in a special way, because I didn't know we were going to have all the team coming in, right? And you may or may not, that might not fit your worldview. Just, you can think of it like metaphorically, if it doesn't fit, with you, with your worldview or your spirituality. The point is, we really aren't doing this alone. That is something I just really know and believe. Heather, you were okay in the activation until you got in your head and wanted to control. So you'll do it again. Exactly, Heather. So that's why I feel like I just suddenly thought, let's record it. And I'm going to do it again later when I'm not presenting, because I really, really liked the idea of what's the thing we haven't even thought of, and I'm excited to keep exploring, because I find, again, repetition in these types of activations can be powerful. So whether if it resonated, you'll have it. If it didn't, don't ever think of it again. Don't even think of it again. Polly, you've never done that before and want to do it again. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And Celeste, because here's the thing. Everything, when I do these activation practices frequently, or even just more than once, I get different things and they get more powerful. It's kind of the philosophical idea of we never step in the same river twice. You're different each time you do it. And so the experience will be different. And when I play our 50 Ways Abundance Accelerator game now, Amy Fortney and I just played it together. We got 113 ways, and it kind of blew my mind. But the first time I played it, I sat there and got nothing and threw the paper in the fire. I was like, this sucks and I hate this so much, right? So it's like, we don't want to, like, our rise can be a process, right? And so I love it. Jody says favorite podcast ever. Yeah, this isn't just a talk podcast.
Go ahead, over there.
I'm just making sure. I think we had a little unmute. So what you're going to get on this show are going to be experiential moments, but we're also going to break down and do, again, interviews and case studies. The first 3 episodes that are available now for everybody, the first one is a little bit of the story and philosophy about the rise that we talked about today, and a little bit of my own personal initial rise. Those of you that know me well, you can skip that one if you're like, got it, heard this before. And then in the second episode, I really break down the 5 key strategies as thought leaders that we're really focusing on in 2024. So some of you have been working with us in Thought Leader Academy. That could be a great refresher. And if you aren't working with us in Thought Leader Academy, that's a really important episode to focus on, like, what are the most important things we want to be doing as a thought leader, an entrepreneur, a coach this year. And then the third episode is a breakdown of an early part of Tony Robbins' rise. Okay. The early part. What did he do when he was a janitor and had no official education to make the first part of his rise to the incredible global impact that he has today? Okay, so those are episodes 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll have an episode coming out every week. That'll be a combination. Some of them are interviews, some of them are solos, and it'll pulse between the inner and outer rise. And in many cases, it's going to be a blend. So yeah, Sarah is also, there's sometimes waiting in the rise, to catch up with our vision a little bit, right? So did anyone else have something really powerful that you want to have witnessed and shared here? This is the first day of this new creation, right? And so if there's something you want to claim, you can say it in the chat, or you can, give me a wave, and let us know so that we can celebrate you. And did anyone feel a physical sensation? I started tingling, like my body was actually tingling during that. I get so jazzed when that happens. I just feel it's very exciting. It feels like something's happening. So yeah, Melinda, the lights, I have some spots that are changing colors. And so they're sort of supposed to be on the back wall there, but I was having some fun playing with them. Anna, you had tingles, and Carrie, you did too. I love it. Yeah. We're going to kind of get creative about the whole sort of podcast set. But Corinne, you said you couldn't even sit still because there was so much energy, and Lisa went from the tingles to the deep relaxation. That's beautiful. And there's no way that it's supposed to go, right? There's no right way. Whatever comes up for you is to facilitate your rise. So before we conclude this very special launch experience, I want to ask everybody, what is the thing that you are going to put in your space, or wear, or look at, or hold that represents that your rise is fulfilled, that it's manifested? Let's all take a minute and think of something. Okay. So again, this can be a picture you print out and look at. It can be a physical object. One of you is going to get your new podcast mic. Sarah's going to wear her crown. What is something that is going to immediately connect you to the fulfillment of your rise? Let's tune into that. Awesome. Karen is going to have a rose quartz angel. Charles is going to have songs and poems and parts of stories you've written. Oh, how beautiful, Charles. Yes. And Sarah says, if people say, why are you wearing a crown? She's like, I'm on the rise. I love it. I love it. I love it. We'll have to get some rise merch, for us all, right? So we can kind of walk around like, don't disturb, I'm rising. We can put a do not disturb sign. I'm in the middle of my rise. Okay. Like, yes, outlines, or your outlines being written represent that. Jody, what was yours? Going to wear your gold sequin gym shoes. Ooh, fun. Teresa's going to get a brand new outfit that reflects who you are, and unbox your crystals and make a rise altar. How beautiful. I love it. I love it. Yes. Do not disturb. I'm on the rise, Carrie. I really want that now. I think that's going to be happening. Okay. Amazing. Sparkle. Okay. So here's the deal. we gave everybody until 5 o'clock Eastern today to if you want to do a review to have more opportunities to win the full podcast studio. But I want to have one of you. I feel like it was really important about the voice and the microphone. So I'm going to have one of you right now is going to win the microphone. Okay. So Jill, if you could scroll through all the people, just do a drawing, do a digital drawing of everyone who has done what are our actions? Download an episode, subscribe, and share. If you've done download an episode, subscribe, share, and signed up for the boot camp, put me in the chat. If you did all those, I know you already put it in, but just put me in the chat if you did those 4 actions to win the full studio, that you get to have more chances if you also write a review, which would be so grateful for you to do. Okay. Okay. All right. Keep putting it in. Let's see. And then we're going to do, we have a digital, Jill has a method. She's going to have the digital drawing. All right. And this is for your own beautiful professional podcast mic to amplify your voice. And the winner, Jill's just sent it to me, is Kelly Wagner. Kelly.
Oh my God, Sarah, thank you. I'm driving. Sorry. So I have my camera off, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I am ecstatic. This is so beautiful. We're so happy for you. And so you are going to get your podcast mic, and we'll be in touch about the best way to get that to you. So we got to do Amazon Canada or something. I'll find out the ones. Marietta can help me since she's in Canada with you, and we will get that to you. Congratulations, Kelly. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so exciting. And Jill, will you drop the boot camp link again? I know Celeste and somebody might have missed that. So if you want to have another chance to win, and then we will announce, we'll think of the best way. We'll send out an announcement for who's going to win the light and the podcast. And if you want the colored lights that I'm doing behind me, but there's the boot camp link. Remember, even if you've taken the boot camp before, you can use it to just make a lot of progress on your book or creative project, and you'll get a daily activation, different ones than what we just did, but we'll be doing a daily activation in there. So yeah, make sure that you all have your tickets to that. Okay, amazing. I know it's time to start wrapping up. We are totally going to have a dance party on the way out today though. So stay for a minute if you can, because I feel like we just get to move our bodies into our rise. And Carrie just said, this is so crazy. Your hypno coaching system is called Rise. Oh my gosh. So you say, I am rising as I take action, and rise as my clients rise. Carrie, that's amazing. I'm so excited for you. So you'll be notified if you've won the whole situation, but you're absolutely all winners. We're going to send everyone here wins at the Rise. The only way to fail, to quote J.K. Rowling, the only way to not make our rise is to keep the boat in the harbor. The only way. Will we have setbacks on the rise? Sure. Will some days kind of effing suck? Yeah. Will a lot of days be insane and joyful and beyond our wildest dreams? Yes, they will. But we're rising no matter what. We're rising on a day that feels challenging. We're rising on a day that feels amazing. And we're going to rise, rise, rise. Okay. And so everyone's getting the activation, and of course everyone gets the boot camp as our gift to you. So absolutely. And I think that, Heyman, I think you're supposed to be able to post reviews right on Spotify or Apple or any of those places. So you can leave it right there on the site. Yeah. And then just in terms of how do we know that you did it, if you would send a message to care@sarahcannell.com, I'll write that in the chat. care@sarahcannell.com with a screenshot of your review. And if you've already posted, we'll be able to see the reviews. Actually, we can see I think we can just actually go on and see your reviews. I don't want to have to make you guys do another thing. So we'll just see your review that you post, because I think we can look at them all. Okay, that's what we'll do. No one needs an extra email to send. And they aren't instant, Tracy. Okay, so we'll need to wait until they process and go up. So thanks for letting us. So as soon as we get to see the reviews, we'll let them all come in. Just post yours by 5 o'clock Eastern time today. And then we'll let you know if you've got the podcast studio, but everyone's winning today. Okay. So the question is, what do we dance out to? What do we dance out to today? I feel like we could either go Unstoppable. We could go, you guys want to do Unstoppable? Is that what we're kind of, I know you know what? If Steph, are you still here? Let's dance out to your song. If we can get the link to the whole thing. Steph is in charge of the distribution, and I want to make sure we do that correctly. So if Steph is still here and we can get the link, or Jill, if you have the link to the whole song, we can totally dance out to that. That would be the best. Otherwise, let's do, okay, it's coming. All right, we're going to dance out to You Can and You Will. The amazing, original, incredible Rise activated song by Steph Rizel. All right, so we'll get that up for you guys if we can. And then thank you to all of the team. Thank you to all of you for being amazing and showing up for yourself today. And here we go. All right, I'm so excited. This will get in your head for a long time. Okay, if you want to stand, stand. It's all good.
I knew I had something deep inside, like a spark in the
You guys hear it?
Just
Yep.
waiting
All
to
right.
burn it bright. All I needed to find was the right place, the right time. Now I'm here, gonna write the story of my life. Whenever I get down, I know I can get up again. I hear the voices in the
Here we go.
singing. You can and you will. So close your eyes and just imagine all your
There's
dreams
Bobby
already
dancing.
happen. You can and you will. You know that anything can happen if you just believe in magic.
Feel yourself rise. Feel it.
Finally, I've arrived. Feels good making up my mind to believe in myself. Think I'm coming out my shell.
222 in Chicago, you guys. Angel numbers.
Finally, see the truth. There's nothing we can't do. Whenever I get down, I know I can get up again. I hear the voices in the
Here we go.
singing.
Rise up.
You can and you will. So close your eyes and just imagine all your dreams already
Oh, I
happen.
love you guys so much. Thanks for the great messages.
You know that anything can happen if you just believe in magic.
Terry. Yes, every morning, Lisa Michelle, we're going to send you the song. This is the breakup song. Ready to
You
rise.
know that anything can happen if you just believe in magic.
All right, you guys, let's go do it. This is only the beginning. Every week we can be together here. See you at the boot camp Wednesday.
If you just believe in
That march is
magic.
up to the front.
You